Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Humpty Dumpty 2. I hope you all are doing great. Today's video is going to be a very interesting video which I think you would really find informative, because today we have an interview with a couple who got a job in Canada while they were in India. So they planned their landing in Canada, and before they were actually doing their landing, they could crack a job. One of them could crack a job and they landed in Canada with a good job in hand. So we are going to talk to them today, take insights from them, understand how did they go about with their process of searching jobs, what approach did they follow, what was their struggle, and then quick tips from them. Today's video is going to be very helpful if you are someone who is back in his or her home country and really searching for a job before moving to Canada permanently. Then this is the video you should definitely watch. And also there were a lot of our viewers who commented on our past video saying that getting a job while sitting in India is not a easy task. Actually, it doesn't happen, it's impossible. So I wanted to bring it out to our viewers that it's nothing impossible, guys. Everything is possible. It's just that you have to apply the right strategy. The approach should be appropriate and you will be able to get everything you want, be it a job or anything for that matter. So let's get started. So hi Stuti, hi Amrit, welcome to Humpty Dumpty 2. I'm really excited to have you on our channel. Officially, you guys are the first guests that I'm interviewing on our channel, and I'm pretty excited for that. So a very warm welcome to you guys to our channel. Thanks for saying yes to do an interview with us. For our viewers, would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Stuti, and I've been born and brought up in Kolkata, moved into Mumbai after my marriage. And I was working in Netcore Solutions, which is a SaaS-based company in Mumbai as a customer success management. My field is in marketing, to be precise, digital marketing, marketing automation, customer success management, email marketing, web and app, data analytics, to give a gist.
And hi everyone, my name is Amrit, and I am originally from Mumbai, moved very recently to Toronto about 3 months back. I have been working in IT and technology for past 8 years. I've delved into multiple different facets of IT, being from program management to cybersecurity, information security, and I'm finally now working in cybersecurity primarily in my current role in Canada.
And for our viewers, guys, Stuti has her own YouTube channel. It's by name Stu TV, and she shares her journey, her experiences while she's here in Toronto. And you can check out her channel. I'll put the handle in the description box. Stuti, if you want to talk about your channel or tell our viewers what you do.
So while we were moving to Toronto, I had this in my mind that I need to start a channel. What are the issues that we are facing when we are moving from India to foreign land. And when we moved in here, there were lots of issues that comes in, before you actually consider yourself settled down. So we actually thought about it that we need to put it out there for everyone who wishes to come down in Canada and set out their new journey. And Stu TV is all about that. So do check it out, give some love. It's been a pleasure to join in through Humpty Dumpty and talk to you guys, because the whole purpose of doing this video is also to reach out to the audience and help them understand what needs to be done, not done, and all that.
And worked out for us,
Yeah, and what worked out for us. So yeah.
Great.
But thank you so much for
giving us this this platform to speak about it.
Yeah, it's actually wonderful to connect with a fellow YouTuber. So it's nice for us too. You've already told us in brief that you worked into cybersecurity, specifically if we talk about Amrit, you worked into IT. So Amrit, my next question to you is, have you moved internally from your organization while you were in India and took a transfer, or you joined a new organization altogether in Canada?
Well, I've actually joined a new organization in Canada itself. My aim was to do an internal transfer because I have a previous stint of working with the big four organizations, EY in India. So my aim was to see the move in EY in Canada, but that unfortunately did not work out. But incidentally, I did get a chance to get into a new organization, which is Allstate. So it's a big insurance firm in North America. Before the move, I was not even aware of Allstate, so it was quite a pleasant experience knowing the organization about how they work over here, and then it eventually worked out well. When we got the final offer from them.
That's the motivation that you have, that if not both of us, at least even if one of us cracks, at least we are somewhere secured, and there is no tension, because the minute you land here, the expenses, it takes a hockey stick curve. So it's important that one of us had a job, and we were struggling initially, but then he got it, and the happiness, it was crazy. I mean, it
course.
just it was an amazing feeling.
So would you like to tell us about your story? How did you start with your job search? When did you start applying for jobs in Canada? How did you sort out that, or maybe started planning all those things?
So I actually started when usually everyone starts their job search, after you receive your COPR. So
Right.
that's when I actually had started looking out for jobs. But I had done a bit of pre-work where I tried to understand in the specific field that I was, where are the most opportunities coming in. So I had delved into multiple different facets of work when I was in EY, program management, cybersecurity, audits, technology risk. So I looked at all of these facets and saw where the jobs are most. It and turned out to be cybersecurity because I was picking up. So I started applying for jobs through the normal channels, your Indeed, Workopolis, and ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn. So, but the response was not coming in. So it was basically like I was sending out requests, but there was no response. So then I was looking at some other folks' YouTube channels and figuring out what they were doing. So they really focused on LinkedIn. So then I switched my strategy into LinkedIn, and I started looking at LinkedIn jobs. I started looking at connecting with a lot more people, and that's what I feel worked out for me. So LinkedIn, setting up the entire profile, ensuring that I was reachable to all, and that I feel felt worked for me. When I finally landed my job.
Okay, that's great to hear. Even if I talk about our story, even we try to reach out to many people on LinkedIn. If we find a relevant job, we just go and apply, and mostly it takes you to the company portal, right? And you just simply apply. Or the other way around is you find somebody on LinkedIn. If you don't know any, contact in that organization in Canada, you ask them to refer you, for that particular position. What was your approach? You applied on the company portals through LinkedIn, or you actually ping a lot of people, because many a times there are not responses that you receive, and it feels bad, right? Somewhere. And I know that you have to keep trying, but somewhere you get demotivated as well. So how did you go about that?
That's really true. And what I did is basically, once I pivoted to LinkedIn, I made a promise that I would reach out to at least 6 to 7 people in the day. So I would send requests to connection requests to anyone willy-nilly in the leadership to senior management to leadership positions in specific firms who are dealing in cybersecurity, information security, and compliance and all those areas. So basically, they were the ones who would look at my skills and determine that I would fit in their teams. So I would reach out to those people. I would reach out to probably 20 people a day, and out of that, maybe 2 would accept my request. And I had set up this message to them, which spoke about my intent, my skills, where I could fit in, and stuff like that. That was my strategy in LinkedIn. And basically, how it worked out in a reverse manner is, because I was connecting with so many people, I became a lot more accessible to a lot more people.
Okay.
because my network grew. So
Yeah.
the recruiter who's on the other side was able to search me out because I
Right.
was connected to so many people, and that really helped me get an edge. Because I saw setting up and applying on jobs was not working out for me. So maybe it does work out, but with this COVID situation and the market behaving this way, it's really not clear. If it really is this the strategy we can use to get the jobs?
I have two follow-up questions on this. So, did you go with normal LinkedIn or you applied using LinkedIn Premium?
No, I did not go for LinkedIn Premium because I really didn't see much value in it.
Yeah.
Considering they were able to give you some in-mails or something, because I really don't think in-mails can work, when you're looking from a sales perspective, that you just need to get the message out. You might not need to connect with that person. But I felt, connecting with the person, if that person is open to you to connect, then they would be open to you to listen out as well. So that's why I didn't go for premium. But yeah, I mean, it's a choice, you can say. I mean, the badge does look good on the profile, so you could probably go for that. But yeah, we didn't go for premium.
So, in your this organization that you are in currently, Allstate, how did it work out? Did somebody reach out to you, or I mean, while you were searching for contacts, you somehow clicked someone who was working in Allstate already, and there was an opportunity, and then things rolled out for you? How did?
Well, I was reached out
Okay.
for this. So
Okay. So yours was you being searched out, and then a recruiter reached out to you.
yes.
If you are positive and if you are working hard to what you want to achieve, there's always that door that always open, and it's no gyan here. I mean, there is always that one person who will actually eventually help you. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
the
this
recruiter, I mean, when she called up, I actually told she's a god to me. I'm actually like a god if she's understanding all our situations and she's willing to work it through. I mean, she was no less than a god for me.
So वो कहते हैं ना किसी चीज को पूरी शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात से मिलाने के लिए लग जाती है उसमें. So it does work out. Even I believe in this phrase. Yeah. So how much time did it take you to finally, crack an interview? You said that you got started once you received your co-PR, and finally, I believe Allstate was the first interview that you had, or you had even more before that?
I had a few interviews, but they didn't work out. So Allstate was the one which worked out. But yeah, I did have my fair share of bad interviews, or things not working out after the interview. So it took me about 5 months.
Did you follow any particular format for your resume? I know it is a one-page format that is used in Canada, right? And that's what they say that should be the ideal resume that should be used by everyone. So what was your approach on this slide?
So I still don't understand the format, okay? Because I don't know what is a Canadian format, to be very fair, okay? Because so what I did is I had my own resume pitfalls. So I started with a 7-page resume, okay?
Really? Okay.
Because of some recommendations and my friends in Canada, they, even for that matter, some of my ex-colleagues who moved to Canada, they told me about this, this works, that works. So I started this 7-page, and I even recommended my wife to do
I
that.
had a 5-page resume.
I came down from 7 to 5, then I came down from 5 to 2, and basically cutting down. So my mantra was, keep all the information, because considering the fact that if they do some sort of bot searching,
right, that's what is happening right now.
Then you should have those keywords. But I think it got so verbose at the end of the day that I had to really cut it down. But yeah, so when I actually finally landed my job, it was a 2-page resume that was there. But I really don't know what really works. But yeah, the important thing is what I feel worked out was the skills, your experience specifically, and ensuring that the keywords that are there in the job description are there in your resume as well. Because when you read the job description, that's the problem statement. So if your resume is attuned to that, it works out.
So one can go ahead with 2 pages also. It's not that you have to strictly, stick to 1-page resume. So that ideally is not that important, right? And what location did you put in your resume? What did you tell them? You're in India or you're in Canada already? What was that?
So that's one thing which I did is I did not disclose my location in the resume.
Okay.
I
And
just
if
give out my
somebody,
number.
yeah, and if somebody asked you, then what did you do? in
Yeah,
that-
they did ask me. So I wanted to have that conversation upfront and say, okay, I'm in India now, but I'm
Okay.
going to be moving, because I didn't want them to, start discarding resumes because I'm based out of India.
Correct. So if we talk about salary, I know if you're in Canada, if you have Canadian experience, then it's good to land a salary which is at par with the Canadian market, right? But while you were in India and you landed a job offer, so what was the salary bracket? Was it at par that you were expecting with your peers, and your designation, was it at par what you were working in EY before?
Yeah, so the expectation was to have at par salary. So the thing is, I did a bit of research online in terms of understanding what is the salary ranges. So I started with where I was working at. I was looking at big four organizations and seeing in my role and profile what's the general salary ranges across all these big four organizations. But yeah, so the expectation was to continually be quoting at what your skill level is. So when I look at roles and profiles which I'm currently working at, what's the salary range, ensuring that whenever I quote that while during an interview or while there is a questionnaire asked, I quote it in that specific range, so that from an expectation standpoint, I give that information. And God's grace, I did get that same range while I joined in the new organization as well.
So I think I should say congratulations to you guys. You are finally able to land at something that's permanent, good, and at par with the salary bracket, and you're happy with the designation and everything.
Yeah, and this is a very important thing for you and all your viewers, that you never back down. It works out.
Would you like to share some tips for our viewers and for us also, since we are also searching for a job? What things that you think, or maybe top 5 things that you think that we should take care of and things can really work wonders?
Yeah, so my top 5 tips is always, first is set up your resume in such a manner that you have all the skills that you want to showcase in that resume. The second tip is get your LinkedIn profile up to date with those skills, what is there in your resume, and so that it is up to date when someone is trying to search on you, because most recruiters are on LinkedIn. The third is very personal experiences. Never get married to a profile, or a role, because we as Indians, specifically Indian professionals, we get married to the designations, the profiles, and the skills that we want to work on continually.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I think the first 3 months really taught me, when I was doing this dedicatedly, that I can't be married to it. I have to look at what best I can do at each levels, but I have to focus on what skills I have, and I have to put it out there. Fourth is, see that your JD and your resume are matching, and ensure that you find jobs where your resume fits best. At least an 80% match has to be there. The last is, be positive. That's all.
So it was absolutely wonderful to hear about your job experience and all of that. Now let's come a little close to your personal life, since I think it's already 4-5 months you're in Toronto, right? So how is it going for you guys? Are you enjoying your time? So just a few words, if you can tell us, our viewers who are planning to immigrate to Canada as well.
So, I always believe, and I always say this, experiences can be, good or bad. But then I strongly believe experiences, they are always about learning. If you have a certain amount of takeaways from that, it's always a good experience, and it helps you keep yourself motivated. So and you must be absolutely understanding the position when you are flying from your home country to an absolute foreign country, especially during these testing times. So much of ambiguity, so much of nervousness, it's there in your mind, that staying positive is very difficult. but then you have to be, headstrong that way. I remember having one conversation with him where, we were just on our bed watching something, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not finding it, really. I'm not having this great feeling that during these COVID times, we'll be actually making it to Canada with our COPR expiring. And he was like, एक दिन देखना, we will be walking on the Canadian road and you will be like, we made it.
Yeah.
And there are lot of times when we are, and especially when we are going for grocery shopping, the famous grocery shopping, when we are walking down, Amru just looks at me and he's like, did you ever think we'll be going to grocery shopping in Canada? And I'm like, we are still in lockdown. We've not explored this city, as much as we
Yeah.
could have. But then the sheer fact that we made it here, and we are there walking out and just exploring, the newbies around. I mean, I'm in love with the traffic rules also here.
Yeah.
The fact that when you're on the road, the cars have to stop for you.
Correct,
It's
correct.
such a privilege, These
Yeah,
small
yeah.
things even matter to you. So it's amazing. And for the people who are watching this video, I want to put it out there for you guys that nothing is difficult. It is possible. You just keep striving, and
Yeah.
I know there can be a lot of challenges back in India, or for the ones who are in Canada, and you might be going through something, but it will work out. This too shall pass. So have that patience, and it'll work out.
So, guys, this is the motivation that you should take for yourself as well. So, things do happen. Let it take time, but just go with the flow. That's important, and keep working hard. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and most importantly, you found this video helpful and motivating. So, do let us know in the comment box if you have any specific questions. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for watching. I'll be signing off for now, and I'll say thank you to Stuti and Amrit for coming here, taking out time and joining us, and sharing their experience with our viewers. So thank you so much.
Bye,
Bye, guys.